Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about the unboxing review about the Setbox Leviathan released by the Game Social for the 10th edition of Warhammer 40k in June 2023. This is the Setbox, and I want to thank Dominio because it has given me also a particular one, and this is mat for the dice. And this it's really quite interesting, so I'll have to play with it a bit, and it's quite nice. So now we go to see about this tray, then about the box itself, the contour, the images and so on, and then we open it. How to not so, but so as you can see, these ones here, these ones here, and while you see you quite bad, you can pick up some dice, and so we can have a fine and nice game. As material should be a neoprene one, and sincerely I quite like, because the design it's nice, and sincerely I needed something like this, and it's themed, so I have quite a lot of fun using this in my games. I love such images. They're perfect to separate the miniatures ones from the box, but it's also nice to use as an option about the, like I say, background or so on, or a sort of poster, so quite nice. And in the background there is another one, so that you can choose if you use this one as it is or with this code, but anyway it's quite amazing. So let's see about the miniature. We can find that there is quite a lot. This it's about the Deathwatch, and as you can see they are really quite detailed and really quite amazing. Usually I don't play the Deathwatch, I'm more intrigued about having them as part of my basis for my Blood Angels and Space Marines and so on. But seriously, I'm really quite thinking about collecting my first army about that Deathwatch. So I had to decide the scheme of color, because I painted a lot about the Leviathan and so on, and I had also made some video about how to paint it. You can find it in the description. So I'm quite curious, and there will be quite a lot of things to notice. I had yet to learn everything about the names, because I know that I made the vlog about the vlog about the release and so the analysis of the worth of such box, that it's a pity that you made even more limited that you could think, and I'm quite lucky to have this. So it's nice to have it, because it saves quite a lot of money. At the same time, it means that I start a new army. As you see, there are a lot of things. Here it's the new miniature, the monstrous one, and I quite love. This reminds me of a Starship Troopers miniature, literally, but I quite love this. Here we have the character, one of the characters that it's really quite intriguing, and Terminator Armor 1. I love such amount of details. I think that it's really nice. This axe it's quite good, so it would be nice to make it also monetized, because there will be a lot of potential here to use, and I quite like. Here we have the Dreadnought, and usually I don't like the Dreadnought, but for this I think that I'll try to see if I like or not. Anyway, I had really to make a video about my collection of Dreadnought, because I don't like them and still have a lot of them. So an army about Dreadnought, we see. Here we have some guns that I love such ones. I had in the past some of the old guns, but I traded them because I didn't like too much. And here we have 2 units of these, and I quite like, sincerely, and this time I have fun playing with them, because I really quite like how they are, and I really want to study a bit of them. And then we have these that are the new model with the thermic weapon. We have these 2 sets available, and I'm quite intrigued because I had the one with the plasma and the blasters, and so I'm quite curious to beat up them and see how they are in the suite of the Blood Angels, because I think that I use them quite a lot. Okay, here I have these that I think that are the Littoris, something like this, so the ambassador ones, and I really quite love. The heads are something that it's amazing. It's a sort of mix of Tulun and so it's really nice. It's not something new in the TI because they had this aspect from some time, but the details are really amazing and I really like such ones. Here we have the charters. So here we had the one about the Space Marines. So here at Terminator 1, and here we have this that it's about the Tide, and I quite like sincerely this one. So it will be interesting. I like the base because it's themed and it's a normal base at the end, because such type of bases, it's something common for me. It's not something difficult and I done quite a lot of times. Still, it's quite intriguing to try with. Then we have these that are the Terminator, and here I'm quite curious to see because technically are the old Terminator but bigger scale. So I'm quite a lot of fan of the Terminator. I'm really quite curious to see really how it is compared to my personalized Terminator, because I think that it will be quite nice to try them. Anyway, I think that my test them will be quite simple because at the end the manets should be the same as the other models. It's a mix of easy to build, and so it's not so difficult to modify them and personalize them, and I think that I'll do because anyway I play Blood Angels. Then here another bit of Space Marines, and as you can see we can find quite a lot of intriguing parts about. These should be the standards, and it's really, if you go to see, quite a lot similar to the Starguard, the Space Marines normal ones, but in the Intercessors armor. So I'm quite curious to see the comparison of the size and so on, because the amount of detail are enough to be really quite intrigued about and have quite a lot of fun with. Obviously I keep the last as Trinity because they are amazing, really. The amount of detail are really quite amazing. If I had to say, I'm quite more impressed by these that are the Trinity than the ones related about the Space Marines, because the Space Marines are more classic, are really simple the scaling or something related about having different weapons and so on. These are completely new miniatures and I'm quite fascinated by them. And after the miniatures with this separate here, it's double also this one, and you can use this as a background eventually, so it could be useful. We can go to see about the rules. Then we can see here the part about the basing, here another bit of basing, here these that are the cards that we see, and here the rulebook. And here there is this, when this it's a way that you can win something related about miniatures, but there is a code behind it, so I'll not show you. Still, it's really quite intriguing. And here there are the decals that, as you can see, there are quite a lot, are all related about the Space Marines, because Trinity doesn't use them. Still, there are quite a lot, and I think that you'll find surely something that you like and eventually you need. I like quite a lot because there are also the Blood Angels ones. Here we can find this, that it's a box, and I quite like this with the card inside. And there are really a lot of things inside, because there are the different missions, the different gambit and so on, the mission rules. As you can see, these are the secondary mission, so it's a way to really know. And there are also some markers eventually, because this could be useful to have understanding of the size that you need to personalize them, because I want to remember you that about the markers now are physical, so you can't move on them. So really you have quite a lot of things inside that they could be useful if you don't want to bring with you everything, and having something that you can keep on the side of your bottle without any problem. So quite interesting. I had a part about the core book. There was this tip that I taken off about this, that it's the limited edition one. As you can see here there is the part, and here there is the back. I quite like such cover, sincerely. It's really quite heavy, and it's brochured, so not bad at all. There are all, again, obviously the instruction about the models, so that you can know how to build them, and I suggest always to study them, because in such a way you can study eventually how to modify, personalize, change and everything. So I suggest you to give a try, because they can give you quite a lot of interesting parts. Then let's see a bit about the book. Still, remember that the chorus and the facts to the chorus are yet published, and you can find the playlist in the description. As usual, this is something that we have seen also in the previous edition, this one with the screaming faces. Here we can find this, that is the introduction about the Leviathan, that is also nice. Here the contents that are quite a lot. I don't like when it's written so small here. Okay, it's understandable, but not so great. The images are always amazing, and I love such one, so it's really amazing this. And you can see it's a bit as usual about how to do the hobby and so on, and really the collecting. These are parts that are always about. Here about the match play, the crusade and so on, so you can understand how it works. The battle report is an example, and the amount of images that there are inside are always amazing. Here you can see some things that are from the past and other things that are new, but it's always nice to see the changes about with this map about the galaxy and so on. And you can find a lot of things related about the background. So about this, I think that you can understand, if you are something that know yet how it works, it's something that can confirm or so on. Anyway, you can appreciate, because you can make a read about. If you are something new, someone new, it's something that it's really quite intriguing, because you can understand really the world that you are going to play with and inside. And really there are a lot of information about, so there will be a lot of things to read, because this it's something that it's really quite worth about. And I repeat, I love such images. They are really quite amazing ones, and the background it's always nice. Remember to always go to see about such images, because it could be a nice way to improve your ideas about modifying, recreating shiny features or so on. And really you have a lot of things that you can appreciate, because there are a lot, and they describe you also the different factions about. So it's something that that you understand how you can differentiate, for example, the different marines and so on from each other, what are their main points or so on. And I love, for example, the Blood Angels are my favorite army, and you can find also some scheme of color and so on that can be intriguing. Remember that there are yet the datasheets about, so you can play all the armies available, and it's not a problem. But in the future will be the release also of the various codexes, so each one will be personalized even more, and quite curious to see what will come for, because it will be really something interesting. But to be a new edition, this it's quite complete, because it that's yet related about the rules, so you are not missing anything about having or not having the background if you are simply interested about playing. But if you are going to appreciate also the background, it's something that complete everything, because you can appreciate quite more all the things, and really you can really see a lot. This it's something that it's perfect to have, even if you have not the limited but the normal one, because it will be identical other than the cover, to understand everything. And really you can have a lot of fun. You can see also the miniatures on, and it's a sort of a state of work. What are the miniatures that are when it has been released the book? And so it's always also an historical scavenger. Sometimes if you think that in the future we go to see back about this, it's always nice to see about them. Some of the miniatures are always like this, so it's not a problem about having or not having the parts, but at the same time you can appreciate some models. For example, this Barracuda has been released recently, but at the same time it's amazing, and there are models that are always nice, really. And you can select your own faction. What are you preferring? The Eldari, the Drukhari, or other things? The Tyranids, for example, the Tyranids I usually don't play with them, I don't like them, but because the new miniatures are something amazing, I really to see about playing with them, and have a lot of models about the Tyranid related, because I played with them a lot, better collected them. And here, for example, my second army, that are the Necrons, and here it's quite amazing because it lets you really have a lot of interesting views. So small of everything, but there is everything, so you can really appreciate a lot about what can happen, and you can also see models and so on, so everything is nice. About the Chorus, remember that I have yet released the analysis about the Chorus and the FAQ related about the Chorus, so here it's something renewed. And if you go to see about the Chorus themselves, you can find that it's the exact same thing. They've taken this part as PDF outside and published. So simply you have to go to read. I repeat, I leave in the description the place with, so that you can find them. And it's exactly the same. So pay attention about such details, because it's quite nice. And so you have also the digital version available. And as you can see, it's really full of things and so on. And there are quite a lot of pages, even if the fact it's even more. Okay, anyway, quite nice. So there will be a lot of things. And really, about this, I'm quite curious about if there will be the advanced part about the rules, because it's something that you can find a lot useful if you think about. So you can see that here we are part, and there is instead the part about the combat pattern. Usually I don't like to play with the combat pattern, but also about this has been made very new about the rules, playing ball for each datasheet for each army and so on. So you can try about this. This is a sort of small option, and you can find a lot of so in the web art if you're interested about, because they are going to publish even more articles, so it can be quite interesting. Here there is the Shadow Descent, that it's a sort of background about, quite nice. These images are something fantastic, and you can find a lot more background, so something that you can even more understand. It's really something that it's worth. It's really about, as you can see here, the part about the Tyranids that are invading and so on, but there are quite a lot of things to notice, and really there is quite a lot. So all these are parts that I too had to read, because it's something new also for me, so I had to see if there is something different and so on, and how they proceeded with everything, because there is quite a lot of option. This instead it's about the miniatures, so it's a way to show you various miniatures and so on, and I think that it's always nice, because you can understand, as I said, the concept about the miniatures, what there are and so on, but also see different scheme of colors and so on that are always welcome, because it can make you maybe appreciate some models and so on. Here the rules for the Crusade, so I don't like that it's here. I would prefer to have all the rules together, not mixed with a bit of background. But this it's really about the campaign, so I can understand that they introduce you a bit of background and then the rules to represent. So I don't like to play the Crusades, but it could be a way to introduce yourself to the game. So eventually try to think about this, because it's a way to start to play from small points and increase them. Then we have this, that it's the Tyrannic War, that it's again about the campaign, but it's also related about a specific separate book that it's available eventually, and it's a Crusade part. So this it's updated obviously to the part about the new edition, the 10th edition, and there will be also a lot of information to take from this, because there are in the different passages and so on a lot of small details and so on that can be quite interesting, and the artwork are still amazing, so they're worth also to scroll from them to see about what they can offer you, because again it's something amazing really. Here we have also the part about the missions, as you can see, so it's related about the campaign, but anyway it's a way to play with, and eventually you can adapt this to the mission for your own armies for normal playing. If you have to adapt them, still it's a good options about, so eventually you can think about try to use, because there are a lot of different ways to play and always nice. As you can see, there is quite a lot, and the images are fantastic, really quite nice. So what to say about such box? I think that it's quite amazing. I made also a video about the worth of such one that was analyzing the real money worth, and I think that it's quite amazing. And if you are going to play with Tyranid and Space Marines, it's really something to take if you are able to find it, obviously, because there are quite a lot of amazing miniatures that you can convert, modify, paint and so on, full of details and really amazing. If you're thinking about playing, not using the Tyranids or the Space Marines, obviously I suggest you eventually to buy only the core book separately so that you can play with. And if otherwise you are interested only about the playing and not everything else, then you can eventually have the chorus free. So it's available for free and you will not have problem. Still, I suggest you anyway to have a try, because this, I think that it will be a fun edition with a lot of interesting options available. It's up to you eventually to appreciate or not. This it's not something that I can decide, but in my opinion it's quite worth a try. Anyway, so from Dino Mode it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.